Before we jump into the episode today, I want to share something with you from my heart. First of all, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really can't tell you how much your support means to me. We've been doing the podcast now for almost 4 years. I can't even believe it. And I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you that listens, shares an episode with your friends, sends me a DM or a text message letting me know how an episode resonated with you or any aha moments. Seriously, I couldn't be more grateful to be able to create this podcast. It has been such a blessing in my life, and I love hearing the ways it's been able to provide value in yours as well. One thing you might not know is how much work it takes to be consistent with a podcast. In fact, did you know that the majority of podcasts don't make it past episode number 10? And we are well beyond that. And it's just a lot thinking of the episodes, recording them, editing them, managing the guests, making sure that everything runs smoothly and gets uploaded consistently and regularly. And so that's why I have created an amazing opportunity for you to support the podcast monetarily. And in exchange for that, you will get exclusive premium subscriber content. So for as little as $3 a month, you can become a premium subscriber of the podcast. And every month I will upload new voice-guided workouts and breathwork meditation audio for you. So that way you can work out with me, coaching you in your ears. You can also take a moment to reduce your stress and relax and come down and ground down with one of my breathwork audios. So if that is on your heart to support the podcast for as little as $3 a month to become a premium podcast subscriber, I can't tell you how much that means to me and the growth of this podcast. I appreciate you. If you're interested, click the link in the description, become a premium podcast subscriber, new content every month, and while supplies last, I'll send you an exclusive podcast coffee mug so you can have your self-love and sweat coffee every morning. I appreciate you. Now let's get into the show. Welcome to Self-Love and Sweat, the podcast, the place where you'll get inspired to live your life unapologetically, embrace your perfect imperfections, break down barriers, and do what sets your soul on fire. I'm your host, Lunden Souza. Hey friend, it's me, Lunden Souza, online lifestyle transformation coach. I help people all over the world just like you who know they are meant for more, get their mind right and their body tight, and go from crazy busy to crazy happy. And hey, if it's our first time meeting, welcome. So happy to have you. And if you've been with us for a while, it's so great that you're here too. I'm really excited to share this episode of the Self-Love and Sweat podcast with you. Hey guys, on today's episode, we're going to talk about progress. We're going to talk about making progress. We're going to talk about how to know if you're making progress, how to track your progress. And quite frankly, progress is super motivating. When you're making those incremental steps and making that growth and learning and moving forward, all of that progress, should you take time to recognize it, right, is super motivating and totally deserves to be celebrated. Okay. So I want to talk to you guys today, especially about how to track your progress. What does that look like? And to inspire you to celebrate it, get excited about it, and to really understand the compounding effects of this little progress over time, leading to the big results and getting really obsessed with and excited about that. Okay. So I really feel like I said, progress is so motivating. I've been on my fitness and health and life journey, if you will, whatever you want to call it, for the last 15 plus years. Started with fitness and nutrition, and then really transcended into lifestyle and habits and routines and mindset and living life full out and doing what sets my soul on fire, right? And using fitness and nutrition, my mind, body, love formula, as I like to call it, as really that triad that I can focus on. I've been saying, for a while now, like, stop looking down at the scale and look up at possibilities, and the rest will take care of itself. So I feel like with my mind, body, love formula, that triad there, my mind, body, love system that I work with my clients on one-on-one in my VIP coaching, and I really bring all of those three tools or all of those three systems to any coaching really that I do, because I find that when we stop looking for progress in ways that we're generally used to, and we stop beating ourselves up with numbers and sizes and just different things that we've been conditioned to believe like actually matter, it's just like not a fun process, and it's not a process that we want to stick to forever. So when it comes to progress, I want you guys to get excited about it, and I want to talk about a bunch of different ways that you can track your progress. Okay. So for example, maybe you lost 10 pounds. Awesome. Maybe you went down a dress size. Great. Maybe you ran 10 minutes without stopping. Maybe you ran 20 minutes without stopping. Maybe you slept, 7 hours uninterrupted for the first time in like forever. And it's not to that 8 hours yet, but you're getting there. You're doing your thing. You're turning off your electronics. You're getting into a nighttime routine. You're reducing stress. You're like going in that direction, right? Maybe you're able to do now regular push-ups instead of push-ups on your knees. Maybe you did last week a set of 10 and then 10 and 10. And this week you do 12 and 10 and 10. Maybe your goal isn't to lose weight. So you're looking to like gain muscle. So you're taking circumference measurements, around your legs and maybe your biceps, maybe your hips to check if that booty is, getting some booty gains there. Everybody is going to be really different when it comes to tracking progress. And I give you guys all of the examples or all of these examples so that you can really, start to dig and start to think like, oh my gosh, full permission to celebrate every step of the way, celebrate that progress and start to see a lot more things as progress, right? It doesn't have to be these giant milestones to get excited about. In fact, all those little things, like I said, are what's going to break the scale over time. I mean, not break the scale, but like tip the scale over time in terms of making progress in a direction that you want to go, right? And I just find it so exciting when we can list down all the ways that we're able to make progress. And so in the Strong at Home for Women program that we're running right now, you can do it anytime by going to lifelikeLondon.com/strong-home. Or strong-at-home. So strong at home, but there's like hyphens in between, the little minus signs in between there. I'll put it in the show notes too. So you can do that at any time. But right now we have a group of women from over 6 countries doing this program right now. And we really highlighted for our VIP All Access members in our Slack group, hey, what are your wins for this week? And I highlighted mine, which was like, I was able to do 3 rounds of 30 renegade rows versus 3 rounds of 20. I took 30 seconds off the rest time. So I was resting 30 seconds less, but doing more repetitions at the same weight. I've been measuring my legs and glutes because before I started this program, I was really doing a lot of walking, a lot of meditation. I was more in like an eat less, exercise less phase. And I was just really low on muscle tone and I just didn't feel that strong. So I gained an inch in my booty. I lost a half an inch in my waist. I feel a lot stronger. Like I said, I was able to decrease my rest there. My weight has stayed the same. I don't normally, check my weight, but I have been just because I want to see like, okay, is muscle, what's kind of happening with my body as my body composition changes and things like that. But nonetheless, like a lot of strength gains, being able now to, can run 30 minutes without stopping. It was just so cold and I hadn't ran for such a long time. So that's been a major progress moment for me too. And then also having the realization that like, hey, sometimes you have to go back to basics, because I really feel like my progress this week as well was being able to recognize that I need to drink more water and I need to make more time to get more steps, because I've been working from my computer, podcasting, doing my thing, always at my desk, always getting excited to create content and serve and all that kind of stuff, that I really need to make time for that too. So that's progress as well. Making progress is understanding and learning that, hey, the basics are important and coming back to that. Okay. It doesn't have to be like giant aha moments like, oh my gosh, I found the answer and the key. It might just be progress this week is like having awareness that I wasn't drinking enough water, that I wasn't taking time to get enough steps and moving forward there. So some of the wins and the progress that we've been celebrating in our group is I really wanted to skip the workout or stop the workout in the middle more than a few times. And I completed 5 days. That was awesome. Another lady says I completed 4 days of dumbbell workouts in a row, a yoga flow. Plus I increased my water intake. I need to get there right with her, right? I ate lots of vegetables and grabbed nuts and fruit for snacks. So probably as opposed to sugary, starchy, carbohydrates and other snacky foods that we can crave. Great wins there. Another win, I completed 5 days and I just finished week 2, day 1. I keep trying to exercise. I keep to the exercise. So sticking to the exercise and trying to reduce oily food. I completed 4 days of the workout. I did the HIIT workout on day 5. I reduced the size of my dinner portions and reduced my wine intake to a couple glasses a week, right? We don't have to eliminate everything. She's also started exercising, drinking more water, or as she started exercising, of course she is, because we're doing the program together. She started drinking more water, but still not enough. So, I mean, hello, this is like not just something that I'm working on, right? A lot of people are at the same place, or we have to come back and circle back to the basics. So she says her goal for next week is to increase water intake too. So it's awesome. And then one other win was focusing on making gym time super productive in getting your workout in and out. So not like milking out the time there. Sometimes we need to make sure that we're getting on to the other things that we say that we want to do, right? That's super important. So with that being said, how can you track progress in your life a little bit differently in unconventional ways that maybe you aren't used to? If you're used to being a slave to the scale and always monitoring if you're in shape or healthy by your weight, what about like how you feel? How are your clothes fitting? How are you waking up in the morning? How are you showing up? What does that kind of look like and feel like for you? I feel like is such a much better indicator for like if you're living your life full out and if you're living your best life, right? So who's to say that living your best life is in like X amount of, number. Like if you're on your way to a certain goal and you want to be a certain size and, for health reasons and just in general, like you want to feel good in your physical body, like there's nothing wrong with that. But on the interim, like celebrate some more progress in between. Did you read a personal development book on, at the same time? Are you reading 10 pages a day? Awesome. Celebrate that. Were you able to lift 1 pound heavier or do 1 more repetition? Celebrate that. Were you able to wake up in the morning without like, that one thought that said it's like too cold and you're too tired and you actually woke up excited about your workout? Celebrate that progress, right? Were you able to, take 3 walks today instead of 2? Celebrate that progress. Like full permission to have full on celebrations, you guys. Last year has been super tough. This year is not like getting any easier in terms of ways that we can use our perception against us, right? So let's turn it around and let's really figure out how we can make progress the new perfection. Okay. Really figure out how we can stop and just be like, I accomplished this. Don't care how small it is to anybody else. I'm taking the time to celebrate that. And if every week you had a list of celebrations that you could get excited about on your way to your goal, on your way to that particular size or outfit or trip that you might, be working towards, feeling good in whatever it is you want to wear there, just whatever, along the way. And oftentimes, when I'm working with people, it's like a major why. It's like, because I want to be in the best shape of my life to show up for my family and my business and my kids and all these things that quite frankly take showing up day in and day out, right? So focusing on that progress bit by bit is motivating. It's exciting. You want to keep showing up if you keep winning, right? You don't want to like show up to something if you keep feeling like you missed the bar, right? So many people come to me and they're like, I just feel like I missed the bar. I feel like I'm always missing the mark. No matter how hard I try, I can't do this, this, and this, and this. And I'm like, hey, what bar? What mark? Where did it come from? Who said it? Let's reset it. Let's set it just outside of your comfort zone, make it work, make it challenging for you. But like, you're going to get a self-fulfilling prophecy if you keep showing up every single time to this bar, and you're just going to keep feeling like you're a failure. You can't reach it. It's like, change the story. Reframe it there, right? So that you can make progress, so you can have these wins, okay? There's no like win-o-meter of like what is a win and what is a loss and things like that. So I just really, really, really encourage you guys with this episode to understand that if we don't celebrate our wins, who's going to celebrate them?
Okay. And if we wait for other people to celebrate us and to tell us we're doing a good job and making progress or whatever, we're going to end up really upset because other people aren't paying attention to us like that all the time. Right? Like we have, people in our inner circle are going to get excited for us and all those things, but they don't have us under a microscope. So like being in group coaching programs is awesome because you have places and you have a space where you can say, hey, these are my wins. This is what I'm excited about. Here's what I accomplished. Look at all this. I'm so excited. What about you? Okay, let's celebrate, so we can't expect that other people are going to go around looking for all of our wins. Like start accumulating those wins, start showing them off. I want to hear about them too. You can send me a DM on @LifeLikeLondon on Instagram. For those of you that are in any of my group coaching programs, you can always have access to me during those times and you can always share your wins with me. I'll celebrate with you. I'll do a happy dance with you. I absolutely love progress. And I love progress because, or I love, using our perception to change progress in terms of what we look at it in terms of being successful for that particular day, or, challenge or whatever, just in life, I just feel like we can continue to look more and more for the progress, and the possibilities are just like, it just makes life so much better. So how are you making progress? And are you giving yourself parameters to track that progress too, right? So for the Strong at Home for Women program, we're tracking sets and reps and rest time and all of that. We have a PDF file where people can fill it in right there. Are you making progress? Yes. 2 pounds heavier, all the things. So you have to be able to set up a way that you're tracking that progress too, right? So whether it is, you're tracking your sleep amount of hours or just tracking how you feel, journaling, how certain clothes are fitting and different things like that. I mean, if you're going to set that mark, you have to set yourself up for being able to track that mark and track that progress too, right? Ownership to all of it. You don't just get to set the mark and then be like, oh, I forgot about it. Like, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. No, show up for it. Make that progress. And progress is going to always be better than perfection because you're putting something out there. You're putting yourself out there to get those results, and you should be proud of you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Self-Love and Sweat, the podcast. Hey, do me a favor. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, give us a review. This really helps a lot. And share this with a friend. I'm only one person, and with your help, we can really spread the message of self-love and sweat and change more lives all around the world. I'm Lunden Souza, reminding you that you deserve a life full of passion, presence, and purpose, fueled by self-love and sweat.